Recently, as some of you are aware, I picked up both the original Star Wars Battlefront titles for my Xbox One X via backwards compatibility, and I'll tell you one thing, I've been having tons of fun. But as I played match after match in the original Battlefront 2, I kind of realized something. I think Star Wars Battlefront 2, 2017, is better than Battlefront 2 from 2005, in my opinion. Now I know for some that might sound like blasphemy, but for me, well, it's just my opinion, and it's just as valid as yours is. But before I begin, I want to quickly ask you something. Take a moment to read this thread and feel free to pause the video if you need to. I want you to focus on what I'll call the red commenter. This is someone who is both rude and annoying. Now I love responding to comments, but if you're basically going to say that liking a game I dislike is like being a killer saying they like killing, then your argument falls apart and makes you look like a fool. Now, for all I know, this person is trolling because no one says that the last good Star Wars game was Force Unleashed 2, because even that makes no sense. But please, if you're going to try and persuade me of your argument, then remain professional about it, and we can have a good talk in the comments down below. But enough about this now, onto the video. Battlefront 2 was very much a game of my childhood. As a kid, I could experience the battles I saw on the big screen, control my favorite Jedi and Sith, and even take the battle to space. It was the ultimate Star Wars fantasy. The mix of vehicle to infantry combat was fantastic, but as I come back to the game now, as a so-called quote-unquote adult, it feels a bit different. Take the environments for example. Some people still say that they prefer the original Battlefront 2 maps as they felt a lot more open, free, and in some cases larger as well. Although some of that is true, it's for a specific reason. These maps are in fact very simple and usually quite empty. Let's look at Kashyyyk as an example. Initial thoughts? Yeah, it looks like Kashyyyk. Big trees, the beach, the little Wookiee platforms up above, and you can even spot the Wookiee fluttercraft in the background too. But overall, doesn't feel very Star Wars. The map is tiny and it hardly reflects how Kashyyyk would have looked like during the Clone Wars. It's a bit ugly too, compared to the other maps that can be found in this game. The color palette just seems way off. There's so much grey for what is meant to be a planet full of lush greens and dark browns. Though as I watch this gameplay, yeah, this looks stupidly fun. Laser bolts flying everywhere, vehicles going at it, and tons of explosions too. But when I imagine a war, a Battlefront set in the Star Wars universe, I imagine this.
Today's glorious strategy involves the taking of Kashyyyk. While our flame strikes from orbit, ground units will prevent enemy ships from launching.
Now, when it comes to visuals, of course, hands down the new Battlefront 2 wins every time. I have seriously seen people say that the old Battlefront 2 has better looking and more enjoyable maps, but for me that just couldn't be further from the truth, even when you put the technical limitations of 2005 aside. So if you're watching this, then please do explain to me why you think the original Battlefront 2 maps are better, because I really am interested in knowing an answer. The main thing for me is that when I play a Star Wars game, I want to feel like I'm in that universe. I can't stress enough how important that is to me, and this version of Battlefront 2 scratches that itch fairly well. But of course, it's not all about the visuals. Gameplay is hugely important too. Now, some people might get pissed when I say this, but I like the structure of Galactic Assault. Although the objectives are somewhat linear compared to the freer-flowing Galactic Conquest, each map kind of has a 3-act structure that can go either way depending on what team performs the best, and I like that. I find it fun. Do I want to see Galactic Conquest be featured in the current Battlefront 2? Of course I do. It's a classic game mode that near enough all of us know quite well. Regarding shooting and movement mechanics though, I also prefer the current Battlefront. Everything feels fluid, and I know it makes sense because this is a current generation game compared to the prior Battlefront 2, which is just old. But as of recent, due to my previous video, I've been getting a lot of comments and even personal messages with people saying that this Battlefront here is complete crap, and how the previous Battlefront 2 is a masterpiece with 0 flaws. And that's just not true. When I'm playing this Battlefront, every time I kill an enemy or fire my gun, it feels good. The weapons are punchy and effective. Kills are rewarding, whenever I get them, that is. That whole reloading thing when you get to cool your gun down automatically if you time it right is just awesome and certainly useful during dangerous situations. The playable heroes and villains, for example, although they have quite a few faults, are once again just cool. I would say they're handled better than the 2005 versions, in which most of them just feel like the same, with near enough zero personality to them. If I'm going to play as Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, or even Han Solo, then I want to feel like them. I want to know they're different, and that in order to defeat them, I have to use different tactics. You know what? I'm not the best with my words. I just wanted to make this video just to say, it's alright to enjoy this game, and it's alright to dislike it too. But don't go around shouting people down just because they have a different opinion to you. With that said, I should probably get back to this essay, or maybe I'll play some Galactic Assault. I don't know. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.
This is bad. Enemy leader deployed.